So we're talking to Kirk Tubbs today, the manager of the Twin Falls Pest Abatement District. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me in.
Let's talk mosquitoes a little bit. I know that there's people that are concerned about various things when it comes to mosquitoes. Obviously, West Nile has been in the news recently, and also Zika has been of concern as well. What kind of stuff do we have to worry about around here?
So we recently found mosquitoes in a pool. We set traps out every week and we sample them, test them for West Nile virus. And one of those traps came back a couple weeks ago with mosquitoes positive for West Nile virus.
Okay.
So it's out there. It was only I think 3 mosquitoes in that trap.
Okay.
But it's there. Birds fly, mosquitoes fly. So you want to take those precautions. And at this point, West Nile virus is considered endemic to the state of Idaho. It's out there. Our goal is to control the species of mosquitoes that transmit it to the point that we see very little transmission.
Okay, and something we should be aware of then, as far as just average day person going outside and participating in outdoor activities, we need to make sure that I'm guessing we're wearing the right kind of repellent. Is that right?
Well, yeah, there's a couple things. So mosquitoes are most active at dusk and dawn. And so that's the key times. Of the 30 different species we deal with here in Idaho, only 2 can transmit West Nile virus. And that's the key times they're active is dusk and dawn. So put on a long sleeve shirt or don't be out there during that time. Or if you're going to be out there, I brought in some Deep Woods Off.
Okay, perfect.
And really, I'm not one brand over the other, but the key thing is look for DEET.
Okay.
So DEET kind of acts like camouflage. You put it on, and mosquitoes know you're there, but they have a hard time finding you to bite.
Okay, and now what about Zika? I know that seems to be in the forefront of a lot of national news lately, and even some it's been talked about around Idaho too.
Yeah, and there is concern. I mean, if you're traveling, that's probably your biggest concern. But in Idaho, well, let me back up. For Zika, the species of mosquitoes that transmit it, they're a day-active species, Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus, which means nothing to you, but they're specific species. But so these species are more tropical mosquitoes. They can't survive in the cold weather, and so we don't have them here. We're not likely to have them, but let's just say one snuck on an airplane and flew into Idaho on vacation, and the first winter they're dead.
Okay.
So the likelihood of them showing up and we see in transmission is pretty low. But the same precautions we tell people to dump out containers of water, eliminate standing water where they can, if they did show up here, would eliminate those mosquitoes as well. So the fact that we already have an active mosquito control program and we're aggressively controlling for these for mosquitoes, puts us in great shape.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to bring up with you too, because aside from the things we can do to help repel mosquitoes, there's a lot we can do as either renters or property owners to prevent the breeding and the spread of mosquitoes that way, right?
Yeah, and our goal is to get mosquitoes, before we even see them flying around. And so if you have water that sits for longer than 5 days, mosquitoes are hatching out of it. And you think of all the storm drains in Twin Falls County. You drive down the road, you don't even think about those little storm drains. They all have a little sump that holds water, so we treat every one of those. In addition to that, we have probably about 4,000 or 5,000 sites that are mapped, and we go back to them repeatedly, either their pastures or their ponds or their low spots that hold water. But even with all that, I still can't find everything. And I'll use myself as an example. We've got a goat that's kind of a mobile weed eater. We move him around. Well, we were gone for a few days, so the goat got put in a different pen. We came back, the bucket that we'd left out for that goat to drink out of, had been gone 3 or 4 days. I look in there, and here it's got mosquito larvae in there. And it was simple as just dumping it out. And they're gone.
How deep does the standing water need to be? I mean, what if you had, say, you were playing Frisbee with the dog, it got left upside down, and some water from the sprinkler got into it? How deep does the water need to be to cultivate them?
So the depth really isn't an issue as long as if it doesn't dry out. So if that Frisbee's in the shade somewhere and it stays full of water, yeah, we'll see mosquito larvae. I brought some little mosquito larvae in this thing. These guys are actually just preserved, so you can kind of just see them in there. But the mosquito larvae aren't very big.
No, they're very, very small.
And one single female will come and lay like 200 to 300 eggs. And so they're tiny when they start out. So we tell people a coffee can of water can produce 10,000 mosquitoes in the course of the summer if it stays full.
Wow. So really make sure we're checking out our gutters, our drains, and anything with standing water around our property. Because you were telling me, I think you might have told me the last time you came in, that mosquitoes really don't travel all that far from where they hatch, right?
Yeah, most species travel less than a mile. Now, there's a few exceptions, but the ones that we're most concerned about, less than a mile.
That's fantastic. So if we would just all take care of our little piece of property, we could almost effectively, don't want to say eradicate, but we could certainly reduce the population by considerable numbers, I would think.
Yeah, and I want to compliment the people that of Twin Falls. I have really seen a good job this summer of people taking charge of dumping things out or draining or calling me saying, hey, can you treat this? Because if it's a bigger area and you want us to come in and treat it, we'd be glad to.
All right, nice. And how do we get a hold of you if we have any questions or want to contact you?
So the easiest is just go to the website. All the contact information is there. Just do a search for Twin Falls County Pest Abatement District, or it's tfcpad.org. Or if you're a Facebook user, find us on Facebook. We're starting to post some things up there. In fact, we've got some really cool videos that show mosquito larvae and how we do some of our treatments that are up there right now.
Okay, we'll also put links on our YouTube channel and on our website as well. So Thank you so much for dropping by. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.